Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to learn about interval and timer creation function. It works similar to set interval and set timeout in JavaScript. Let's look into some examples to understand how it works. I've created a JavaScript file called as timerinterval.js and I have imported the same here in index.html. Let's close this and this is our web app. We'll do a refresh. First, let's begin by learning the interval creation function. We'll import the same from the RxJS library. Now let's create a observable. We'll call the interval function. This interval function accepts an argument that is of type integer representing the millisecond similar to the set interval. So if we pass here 2000, it means that after every 2 seconds it will emit a value, right? Now let's create an observer. We'll have the next, just log the value. We'll also have complete. It doesn't accept any value, we'll just log a simple string. So now let's have the subscription mechanism. We'll write observable dot subscribe observer, right? When our observer subscribes to this observable, the interval function will start emitting the numbers sequentially starting from 0 after every 2 seconds, just like how set interval works. Let's hit save and see the behavior in browser. As you can see, after every 2 seconds, we are receiving the next notification. Now, the interval function on its own will never call the complete notification. As you can see that we are receiving the next notification. It's an infinite sequence, right? It keeps on emitting the values. There is no complete notification. Now this is about the interval function. Now let's look into the timer creation function. We'll start by importing it. So let's import the same from the RxJS library. And here instead of interval, I'll replace it with timer. Okay, so now let me just comment it out, save it, so that we have a clean log here. Similar to interval, the timer creation function also accepts an argument that represents the initial delay after which the first value should be emitted, right? Just how the set timer works. After a certain delay that you provide to it, it will execute the inside callback function. Similarly, here also, when we say 2000 or when we pass 2000 here, we are saying that emit the first value after a delay of 2 seconds. Now let's uncomment this, save. And you can see there's no value. We got the first value and immediately followed by the complete notification. Here, the complete notification makes sense, right? Because what we are telling to timer is that after 2 seconds, just emit the number, right? Just emit the value. There's nothing else that the creation function needs to do now. There's no other values to be emitted. That's the reason you see the complete notification here and not in the interval creation function. Now, the timer creation function also provides us with an additional functionality. And that is by allowing us to pass a second argument to the function. So herein, I can pass a second argument, which is also a number representing milliseconds. When I write here 3000, what it means here, we are telling the timer creation function the first value should be emitted after a delay of 2 seconds. After that, every other value should be emitted at a regular interval of 3 seconds. So herein the second argument makes the timer function behaves like an interval creation function. You can see in interval function, whatever value you pass it, how we write it is that interval 2000, or I can say 2 seconds, right? When we say this, we are telling interval function that after every 2 seconds, you emit the value, right? But in here, by passing the second argument, we are telling the timer function that send the initial value after a delay of 2 seconds, and then the subsequent values should be emitted at a regular interval of 3 seconds. So behaving like an interval. So in such a case, do you think we'll get the complete notification? Let's see that. We'll hit save and see the app behavior. We got the first value. Then after every 3 seconds, it will send us the other values. Now again it is reaching an infinite sequence, so it will never emit the complete notification. If I remove this, it will behave similar to set timeout. Hit save. We'll get the first value followed by the complete notification. So that's it. That's all about interval and timer creation function. In our next video, we'll learn about the from event creation function. Until then, happy coding.